was saying that under phototrophic nutrition, we have two types of nutrition under phototrophic, or two types of phototrophic nutrition: photosynthesis and then chemosynthesis. So we want to look at photosynthesis, and of course, before we do that, we need to first understand where photosynthesis happens. Okay, what parts of the plants actually carry out photosynthesis? That's the question we want to address in this presentation. So leaves primarily, that is very important, are the sites for photosynthesis in plants. But also other green parts of the plant can carry out photosynthesis. Okay, remember, chloroplasts are found in plant cells, but not found in animal cells. That is one very important difference there. So the chloroplasts are the organelles that contain the green pigment that absorbs the sunlight, and is mainly found in the mesophyll cells of the leaf. So if we look at the structure, okay, so understanding the internal structure of the leaf is very important for us to understand how photosynthesis happens, and how the different materials that are used for photosynthesis are actually moved. How do we get carbon dioxide in? How do we get the water in? And how do we get the oxygen out, which is the waste product of photosynthesis? So understanding the structure of the leaf helps us in answering those questions. So this is the internal structure of the leaf. That means if you get a microscope, and look at the internal structure of the leaf, this is what you basically find. So one of the adaptations of plants on land is that they have what you call cuticle. This cuticle is very important because on land, the major problem is desiccation. Plants drying out because of the water that they lose. So that means that water is in limited supply on land. So that means that the plants need to have a covering that prevents that water loss, and that covering is what we are calling cuticle here. It's a layer that covers the epidermis. Okay, the upper, you see here, this is the cuticle, this is the upper epidermis here. Okay, so it prevents water loss. The upper epidermis is a layer of it's a single layer of cells that forms the upper part of the leaf. It helps still in protecting the inner structures of the leaf, and also plays an important role in regulation or in exit of gases. And then now we move to these closer to rectangular shaped cells that we call that are found in the palisade layer. Okay, these cells are tightly packed. You can see very tightly packed. They are elongated and they're just below the upper epidermis. Okay, one of the key issues that they actually have, or the key features that they have, is that they have many, you can say numerous, chloroplasts, and the chloroplasts are the ones that absorb or capture light energy. So that is very important because the light from the above is shown on the upper surface of the leaf, and if you have the chloroplasts in the palisade layer very numerous, then that is an advantage. And then we move to another layer that we call the spongy mesophyll layer. So that irregular shape means that you're definitely going to have air spaces in there, and that is very key for gas assets in your diffusion of gases. Okay, and then the lower epidermis down here, this is what you see there. They have openings that we call the stomata, the stomata are tiny pores or openings in the lower epidermis. We have, of course, this does not mean that on the upper surface of the leaf you don't have any stomata there. You can always have, but there are very many underneath there. And these stomata are actually guarded by cells called the guard cells. These guard cells regulate the opening and the closure of the stomata. Okay, so that means that they are very, very important in regulating what gases come in, what gases go out, whether water is lost or water is not lost. And then we have the vein here. That vein, you have the phloem, the xylem, the cambium, and all the other components that are very important. You can see here the xylem and then the phloem. Okay, because the xylem is very important for transportation of water and mineral salts, and then the phloem for transportation of organic compounds. So basically food, if you can use that. Chloroplasts are the organelles that are used for photosynthesis.